Good.
Oh, yeah.
Namaste.
Okay. All right. Namaste.
We're on a new canto.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. And it's going to be a very challenging and beautiful one because it's one of the longest headings in all of Savitri.
Hmm.
It's Book 7, the Book of Yoga, Canto 1. He begins with the joy of union, semicolon, the ordeal of the foreknowledge of death, and the heart's grief and pain. I mean, already it's touching us. So we're going to go slowly through this and very deeply. Would you like to begin reading?
Yes. Fate followed her foreseen immutable road. Man's hopes and longings build the journeying wheels that bear the body of his destiny and lead his blind will towards an unknown goal.
Well, it's most interesting because we see that fate sort of follows an immutable road that's foreseen for all of us because we create from many past lives and this present life the format of our progress, our evolution towards the next phase. And so fate is following that foreseen immutable road. But then it's going to tell us about us, that our hopes and our longings build the journeying wheels. Interesting phrase, the journeying wheels. In other words, we get this idea of moving along on wheels, that life is moving along like that. And we have the wheel in the sky, and we have so many instances of wheels in our yoga and in many other religions as well. So these hopes and these longings build the journeying wheels to do what? To bear the body of his destiny. So they have to hold the body of his destiny, and also they have to lead his blind will towards an unknown goal. Right now, for us, our will is not quite so blind anymore because we have found Lord and Mother. And that's all the difference in the world. Please continue.
His fate within him shapes his acts and rules. Its face and form already are born in him.
No,
Its
its face
parentage,
and form, its face and form already are born in him.
its parentage is in his secret soul. Here matter seems to mold the body's life, and the soul follows where its nature drives.
But okay, we have to go very slowly here now. His fate within him, within all of us, shapes our acts and our rules. We have moral rules. We have ethical rules. We have so many rules in Orville that at times it's too much for me. The other day I didn't take the card, the little blue token to go to the chamber, and this guy just trashed me out for not having it. So then the next day I have to take this um, Japanese girl. And so I get the card, and the lady says to me, in order to take someone else, you have to get prior permission. I said, so many rules. and, and so here our fate seems to shape us and our rules and our acts in Oroville as well. But this face and form of the fate that's ruling us are already born in him. Why? Because its parentage is in his secret soul. We have evolved to this point through our evolutionary journey. And so our parentage, we can see where it comes from. It's not just by chance. Now, Sri Aurobindo is going to use a word that he often uses, words that I've told you about, like as if,
Hmm.
although, and here the word
See.
is seems. Here matter seems to mold the body's life. Well, matter is a structure of energy. We've already learned that. It's not fundamentally what we think it is. This table, the chair, we see it as a form, but it's only a material energy that's being shaped into that form. Matter is that. And it's a body or it's a field of consciousness also. So this creative energy in matter, we can say is a movement of the power of the spirit. And Sri Aurobindo has a lot to say about it, but we've been through it a few times. So let's go on. And the soul follows where its nature drives. Well, we have to go back to the other line because he says, here matter seems to mold the body's life. Seems. And the soul follows where its nature drives. Well, this is where we get into the problem of understanding the soul and the psychic being. And we've gone through that a few times, I know. But we have to understand that the soul is not involved in the creative act at all of our lives. It's only the psychic being that grows with each birth and death, but it grows not carrying with it all of the body, life, and mind, but only those few things that helped it advance in the evolution to the next phase. That is the psychic being. So we have, and the soul follows where its nature drives. It seems to be like that, but he's going to go on and tell us more.
Nature and fate compel his free will's choice. But greater spirits this balance can reverse and make the soul the artist of its fate.
So you can see here that Sri Aurobindo is actually speaking of the psychic being, but
Mhm.
he's using the word soul. And he speaks a lot about the word soul, that it's totally misunderstood in most countries, especially the West. And but we have to understand it as the psychic being that is doing this work. So nature and fate, no question about that. Those two things compel his free will's choice. Now, our free will is not our free will. I have to go slowly here for us so we can wrap our head around it. Because our free will is generally perverted by the thoughts coming into the mind. I get angry. Is it my anger, or is it the anger of a being that has used me for so long and really just wants to continue enjoying that? So I'm sad. Well, there are beings that would love us to be sad also. Mother tells about them coming into her room, that 5 or 6 of them came into her room, and one of them had a knife to stab her. And she said, I just said, get out. And they all left immediately because they're minor beings, and they're so stupid to challenge the Divine Mother. Anyway, nature and fate compel his free will's choice. So why does nature do it? Well, we're very tied to nature. We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to eat certain foods, reject certain foods. And then we have fate also that's come along with us from all these births and deaths. So Sri Aurobindo says, nature is God's power of various self-becoming. So we know that nature is not the divine nature as yet. But even though she is wild and she experiments a lot, she did finally agree to work with Mother. And for me, that is the greatest. On the 21st, Mother's birthday, I'm giving a talk on the material aspects of the flower significances and how they relate to matter. So now we have, but greater spirits, this balance can reverse. This balance is incredible. This balance of what he's talking about here, matter and fate, and is our hopes and our blind will, and everything shaping our acts and our rules. So he wants us to know that, and the soul even follows where its nature drive, and nature and fate compel his free will's choice. So now he's given us all of that. So we got that to handle and say, oh man, that's heavy. But then he says, but greater spirits, this balance can reverse and make the soul the artist of its fate.
This is the mystic truth our ignorance hides. Doom is a passage for our inborn force. Our ideal is the hidden spirit's choice.
Our ordeal.
Ananke, our ordeal is the hidden spirit's choice. Ananke is our being's own decree.
So here the key word here is about Ananke. And in Greek mythology, Ananke was this personification of a compelling necessity or fate to which even the gods must yield. Interesting, huh? And for us, it's karma, basically. The type we can't nail it down specifically, but he does say, and I want to read that to you, very important. It's in the essays in philosophy and yoga, which people don't read too much. The truth of karma has been always recognized in the East in one form or else in another. But to the Buddhist belongs the credit of having given to it the clearest and fullest universal enunciation and the most insistent importance to the Buddhist then. In the West, too, the idea has constantly recurred, but in external, in fragmentary glimpses, as the recognition of a pragmatic truth of experience, and mostly as an ordered ethical law or fatality set over against the self will and strength of man. But it was clouded over by other ideas inconsistent with any reign of law, vague ideas of some superior caprice or of some divine jealousy. That was a notion of the Greeks, a blind fate or inscrutable necessity, ananke, or later the mysterious ways of an arbitrary, though no doubt an all-wise providence. So Sri Aurobindo corrects them a bit on Ananke, that it is for the Greeks a blind fate or an inscrutable necessity. Okay, now that's us. And now he begins with our Savitri.
All was fulfilled the heart of Savitri, flower sweet and adamant, passionate and calm, had chosen, and on her strength's unbending road forced to its issue the long cosmic curve.
Oh, I would read the first line a little differently.
Mhm.
All was fulfilled. The heart of Savitri, flower sweet. So almost having a comma there after fulfilled might sound a little better. So this heart of Savitri now is fulfilled. Why? She found Satchivan. And she knows that it's only for a year, but that year is all her life. She tells her father that. She tells Narad that, and her mother. Her heart is flower sweet, but it's also adamant. And adamant means here unshakable, inflexible. She's not going to do what her mother wants her to do, find someone else who's not under this curse of having to die in 1 year. No, adamant. So it's flower sweet and it's adamant, almost a paradox. Hard, unyielding, and yet flower sweet. And then again, another paradox, passionate and calm. How marvelous, huh? And then he said that she had made this choice, had chosen. And on her strength's unbending road, it is not bending at all. It's not giving in at all to, at least we think right now, to sorrow, grief, or anything. But it's there in the heading of the chapter. The ordeal of the heart's grief. And so her strength on its unbending road that has made this choice has forced to its issue the long cosmic curve, which is the issue is the I would say the ultimate result or the event of this long cosmic curve. And what is this cosmic curve? Well, we're going to find out more.
Once more she sat behind loud, hastening hoofs, a speed of armored squadrons and a voice. far herd of chariots bore her from her home.
So now we're going to this point where she's leaving her family, leaving the palace, father, mother, all her friends, all the beauty that was there. She's going to live in a wild place where there's only trees and maybe some flowers in an open area. So she's sitting behind in the chariot, these loud hooves that are hastening, they're hurrying. She's making them hurry towards Satyavan.
Mm.
A speed of armored squadrons. Armored squadrons are cavalry routes that are very well enforced with weapons, everything else. Now, the speed of armored squadrons and a voice far heard of chariots bore her from her home. So, what can we say? It's a voice that's far heard of the chariots that are taking her from her home to her new home, alone with Satyavan, his mother and father. Sri Aurobindo never gives uh, the name of his mother. Although Deshpande, who's a freak for finding things, finds all these things out. So he knows the Ashwapati's wife's name, and he knows the Satyavan's mother's name. Her father, of course, we know. So please continue a little bit more, and then
A
it's just
couchant,
I don't want it to end. It's so beautiful. Okay, accountant. Sorry.
a couchant earth wakened in its dumb muse, looked up at her from a vast indolence. Hills wallowing in a bright haze, large lands that lolled at ease beneath the summer heavens, region on region spacious in the sun, cities like chrysolites in the wide blaze, and yellow rivers spacing lion-maned led to the Shalwa March's emerald line, a happy front to iron vastnesses and austere peaks and titan solitudes.
Wow. Okay, so we have to go through a lot and slowly, of course, because this marvelous description of the earth. First of all, this earth is couchant. And the best example is the lion when it stretches its paws out and its back paws touch the ground and is lying. And the earth is lying down. It's a couchant earth. But its head is raised up, just like the lion's. So, because it's wakened in its silent muse. Why is it wakened? Well, because it looked up at her from a vast indolence, habitual laziness, from a vast habitual laziness. But now we see hills wallowing. Now, that's a very interesting word here because Sri Aurobindo uses these words in very unique ways. When a hippopotamus splashes around in the muddy water, it's called wallowing.
Okay.
So now the hills are wallowing in a bright haze. She can see them from a distance. They're wallowing there. Large lands that lolled at ease beneath the summer heavens. Here again, lulled is usually a little pejorative, like hung out,
Hmm.
hung around. So, so these large lands are sort of hanging around at ease beneath the summer heavens, and region on region, spacious in the sun, cities like chrysolites in the wide blaze. A chrysolite, of course, is a gemstone, used as a gemstone like topaz. It's a brown or yellow green olivine, and it's found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. And yellow rivers, even yellow rivers pacing lion mane. Why are they yellow rivers? Well, because they're rushing forth and they carry soil within them and all.
Mhm.
And then I have to go to the next page. Here it is. Yeah. And led to the Shalwa marches emerald line. Well, Shalwa is the country in the Mahabharata in Western India. And it's also the name of its king or its people, the Shalwas. A march is a frontier. So, led to the Shalwa marches, emerald line. And what is it? It's a happy front to iron vastnesses. That's the big mountains that are just made of so much stone. They're the iron vastnesses. And they have austere peaks and titan solitudes. Oh, and we'll end there.
Yes.
So you can read now from the beginning.
Yes. Fate followed her foreseen immutable road. Man's hopes and longings build the journeying wheels that bear the body of his destiny and lead his blind will towards an unknown goal. His fate within him shapes his acts and rules. Its face and form already are born in him. Its parentage is in his secret soul. Here matter seems to mold the body's life, and the soul follows where its nature drives. Nature and fate compel his free will's choice. But greater spirits this balance can reverse and make the soul the artist of its fate. This is the mystic truth our ignorance hides. Doom is a passage for our inborn force. Our ordeal is the hidden spirit's choice. Ananke is our being's own decree. All was fulfilled. The heart of Savitri, flower sweet and adamant, passionate and calm, had chosen, and on her strength's unbending road forced to its issue the long cosmic curve. Once more she sat behind loud, hastening hooves, a speed of armored squadrons, and a voice far heard of chariots bore her from her home. A couchant earth, wakened in its dumb muse, looked up at her from a vast indolence. Hills wallowing in a bright haze, large lands that lolled at ease beneath the summer heavens, region on region spacious in the sun, cities like chrysolites in the wide blaze, and yellow rivers pacing lion maned led to the Shalwa March's emerald line, a happy front to iron vastnesses and austere peaks and titan solitudes.
Good reading, good reading. I want to check one word, okay? And
Yes.
I'm going to look at that now. You
It's
pronounce it different.
power?
Hour.
Our or R?
Hour.
OUR.
Mm-hmm. You check it out, and we'll see
Okay.
next week.
Yes,
But
yes.
I've got British English hour,
Our.
just
Okay.
like HOUR, but without the H.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.